First of all, we cannot have two versions because there are two types of codes. And once we have this finished, now we are working with the developer called me and said that we need to start looking at a step-by-step tutorial for new players, and this is very complicated to do. So imagine that we will have to make two tutorials like that on two different codes, and we only have one dev, and that dev is not very expensive, but it's quite expensive. So once we make the app, it's going to be basically impossible to run the app and the old version. I know people want to have that, but you need to imagine that this developer is new. This is not Memox, okay? So we had to find the dev acceptable as a price. I have to tell you that this dev is a guy that is an actual gamer, challenger on League of Legends, level 10 on Face It. So he plays every game possible. He understands games. He likes games. Because I know him, we are not paying as much as a dev should be paid. It's impossible to have two devs working on two games because there are going to be two games. Once this is finished, there is a big difference in code between the new version and the old. The old version, the code in the old version is so complicated because it has so many layers. So it's a spaghetti code basically, okay? And it's very difficult for new developers to come and to learn and to write the code in the old version. In regards to Gang Assault, I wanted to make an event that would come once or two times around, where people can set GA like all time. It was called, I can't remember the name. It was based on that movie where everybody can kill everybody one day. I don't remember the name of the movie. The Purge, yes, The Purge. Let me explain why I created the hunting grounds, okay? That people hated so much. I created the hunting grounds because I understand there is no way I can stop cheaters. So I cannot stop people from cheating. It's impossible. So what I have to do, because I want to make an app, and because the app is costing a lot of money, and because I want to have new players, and because every new player complains about cheaters, and about hitmans in general, because they are the cheaters, let's be honest here. Every time people leave because the game has cheaters. So what I did was I created hunting grounds where hitmen can play their own game. It's like a game in a game. Okay, I saw this. This is the best example is when the Brazilian streamer Rubini. I think when he started streaming and I spoke to his community, a lot of his community contacted me and told me that the game has a lot of cheaters and they can't play. This was something that had to change. Okay, this round I was harmed by a player who ended my Sicario sequence. He was banned by Macrobot and this should be reimbursed in some way, credit spent on the sequence. Okay, let me talk about this because like I said, next round we are going to address this. But when it comes to people that are harmed by cheaters, the tradition, let's say, is that we do not give anything back. So a lot of people lost a lot of stats during 18 years of TC. And we never gave stats back. Never. If we give stats back, it means that we have to create a new rule. It would be very complicated. Imagine that you're playing Counter-Strike, okay, and you're playing against cheaters, and you just start, and you play the 10 games, to get your rank. And you play only against cheaters. And because you play against cheaters and you lose, you are silver. Do you think Valve cares that you are silver because of that? No. There is not much we can do here. Events are random. If there is a person that puts the event, but I want to explain because every time this is a problem. If I put the event by hand, then people are going to say that I'm corrupt, that the game is corrupt, and that the game is made for X player to win. I have to say something in regards to macro script and whatever. The new version on the phone, especially when you run away on the phone, and because the button is fixed, it's very, very quick. It's extremely quick. It will create problems for us to understand who has a macro and who does not. So now to hunt, I think it's much better from the phone or tablet than from the computer for the first time in history. You cannot prevent cheating. You are correct. We cannot prevent cheating because people have a lot of free time to make macros. I think we can make when we have the app, we can make something like you have on Faceit. When you download the app in your computer, you have to download this little thing. But that is very invasive. That is very, yes, like cheat guard. But it's a gray area with the cheat guard, legally speaking. Okay, so it's complicated. I think everything can be done, but first of all, we need to go step by step and make sure that we have a version that can make people at least 50-60% happy and that it's playable. And then we have a web app, and that web app goes on Google Store like we want to do. And then we can make these little things. The most important thing for us now is the tutorial, which it's very, very important because TC is a very difficult game, and new
Yeah,
players have a lot of difficulty with it, so we need that. Okay,
yeah,
we really need a tutorial. I think a tutorial is much more important than a new profession. If we make two more levels, if we create two more levels, then already the game changes. And you need we have so many professions, but as you can see, players choose only one. If next round I buff pimp, they play pimp. It doesn't matter that robber makes 155 million respect and
yeah,
businessman makes 10 million less. They don't care. They see buff, end of story. If anybody here, I want to make this very clear. If anybody here has the imagination and the time, okay, this is very important, to create a profession or a feature in the game, please do.
yeah, yeah,
I will actually reward you for that. You need to understand that starting next month, September, I will go back to my normal job, and my normal job is from 8:30 to 8 at night. So I will have problems creating new features. So I'm trying to do as much as I can. So if anyone wants to make a new profession, because a lot of players come to me and say, make this profession. Okay, I make this profession, but this profession needs levels.
yeah,
That profession maybe needs new things in missions, in the alleys. There are so many things to add. And then you need to more or less try to not make it broken. So if you have the time, I will reward you. I think professions are more or less balanced. Look at the top respect that businessman makes compared to robber. I think pimp can get a small buff. Yes, I think that it's based on my previous experience. I think it's impossible. What we do, we try to balance it. We fail, and we play around, we fail, we realize it's OP, and then we nerf. That's how it works. It's like in League of Legends, when they make a character, they make it OP, so they sell skins, then they nerf. It's like this. It's very easy. But we don't have skins to sell. We just fail because it's very difficult to balance all these numbers and all these situations. Because in our game it's different. You have events, you have situations, so